Hello and welcome to the fourth film in our Fitting Out Floors and Ceiling series. In it, we consider the ceiling finishes commonly used on reinforced concrete ceilings. Ceiling finishes can be achieved using both wet and dry techniques. As ceilings are no longer routinely plastered, fillers, paints and other types of coating are the only finishes that are still applied wet. Suspended timber and metal ceilings are, of course, applied dry. Like floor coverings, ceiling finishes can either be bonded to the load-bearing slab or decoupled from it. On the left here, you can see that in our troposphere laboratories, a coat of blue paint was applied directly to the underside of the ceiling slab. By contrast, our Leipzig laboratory has a gap between the metal suspended ceilings and the slab to accommodate technical services. Ceiling finishes can also be categorized according to their acoustic effect. Hard surfaces, as here on the right in our Leipzig Cloud Laboratory, for example, reflect noise. The suspended ceiling in the photograph on the left is in the Nordkopf Tower in Wolfsburg. The ceiling is perforated to absorb sound and so help reduce noise reflection, making conversation easier to hear in an open area designed for socializing. In addition, a suspended ceiling may be either open or closed. The advantage of open ceilings, like the grid ceiling in our Regensburg school, is that the concrete slab has no cladding and so remains thermally active, improving comfort levels in the space below it. The ceiling in our Munich school, which was built at the same time, is closed to conceal the cables that were to be run through it. Now let's move on to some of the common ceiling finishes. The easiest option is simply to leave the original shell structure as it is. If a particularly attractive exposed concrete finish is required, then fair-faced concrete must be used with a uniform and well-compressed concrete pour and an even pattern of formwork panels. If the concrete is to be given a smooth finish and painted, it will be skimmed and polished to remove any formwork joints or other irregularities before the paint is applied. This is how we finish the ceiling in our Zwickau workshop. If a smooth joint-free ceiling that also provides space for running surfaces is required, then a suspended ceiling is fitted and the underside is sheeted out using thin plasterboard or gypsum plasterboard. The joints and fixing screw indents are filled before the paint is applied. A suspended ceiling can also be made of veneered wood composite board, though in this case the joints between the boards will remain visible. Another possibility is the open wooden strip ceiling, which again offers the advantage of a thermally efficient, unclad concrete ceiling. Here the wooden slats are fixed to a substructure of rails. Metal suspended ceilings are also fitted to a system of rails. Here you can see metal lath ceiling units in a corridor at our Leipzig laboratories. We chose this reversible ceiling system because it looks good, but also because it permits service modifications and retrofitting. Summary: ceiling finishes can be achieved using both wet and dry techniques. Fillers, paints and other types of coating are applied wet, while timber and metal suspended ceilings are dry fitted. Ceiling finishes can either be bonded to the load-bearing slab or decoupled from it. A ceiling finish will either reflect or absorb sound depending on its design. We recommend that you go on to watch the fifth film in our Fitting Out Floors and Ceilings, in which we consider floating screed floors and how to lay tiles on them.